Hey, howdy, hello, everyone. A pillow here. Once again. And I'm not a pickle. I am not pickle pillow. But recently we covered someone who found himself in a pickle. Yes, I'm talking about the creator. One of the creators of Rick and Morty himself. We have passed the 30-second point. I can now cuss. We are talking about Justin Roiland. So, a couple of weeks ago, I covered the allegations against Justin Roiland. Not necessarily allegations, more so charges. Justin Roiland, of course, is the man who voices Rick and Morty in Rick and Morty. He is the founder of Squanch Games, who made High on Life. That game that everyone talked about like right before it came out, and then like no one has talked about since. He turned himself into a pickle. Just a lot of things. But Justin Roiland was charged in the state of California with, I believe, 3 different counts of domestic abuse or things regarding domestic abuse. I think one of them was like holding someone against their will under like threat of physical violence. I think was one of them, kind of. I'm forgetting, but basically there are these allegations against him, and he had been charged by the state of California. And when that was revealed, a lot of things came out. He got fired from his position on Rick and Morty. His games company disassociated themselves with him. Basically, he got cast out when people found out that these charges had been levied against him. Well, recently, those same charges were dropped against Justin Roiland, and he gave us a statement. This is the second statement, I believe. This is not the original statement that we got. So, as we see Justin Roiland here, he says, "Justice. I have always known that these claims were false, and I never had any doubt that this day would come. I'm thankful that this case has been dismissed, but at the same time, I'm still deeply shaken by the horrible lies that were reported about me during this process. Most of all, I'm disappointed that so many people were so quick to judge without knowing the facts, based solely on the word of an embittered ex trying to bypass due process and have me cancelled. That it may have succeeded, even partially, is shameful. However, now that the legal case is ended, I'm determined to move forward and focus both on my creative projects and restoring my good name." So, today, I'm not going to be talking about my opinions on the case. I'm going to be talking primarily about the statement that Justin Roiland made. So if you came here to hear me talk about my opinions on the case, sorry, I can't really do that. I don't know the evidence of the case. I just reported on the charges when they first came out, and I'm reporting on this now. It's what I do. Okay, so first of all, let's talk facts. These charges were levied a couple of years ago, and they did not become public until very recently. And there was really no indication that it was an ex of Justin Roiland. At least, like, from all of the media sources that I read, nothing in there said, "Oh, this was Justin Roiland's ex that told us about this," and like gave us information of the charges. Because believe it or not, charges made against adults are public. All of those charges are public. At least a vast majority of them. I think the only charges that may not be like in a public database somewhere are like federal charges and like certain state charges. And charges against children. Like minor offenders. But in the state of California, state charges are public for the most part. And I know this because anyone who watches my content probably also watches Xanderhall's content, and a couple of months ago, his ex-girlfriend got arrested on some charges, and those were public. So there you go. Charges, and Justin Roiland was charged in the state of California. These are public. I don't get why he's saying like, oh, an embittered ex was like trying to bypass the due process. I think the more likely reason why this came out is like, Justin Roiland is popular. He was on top of his game. He had literally just released a game that I'm pretty sure High on Life sold well. Even if a lot of people don't talk about it now, High on Life, I'm pretty sure, sold fairly well. So it's more likely that, like, of the hundreds of millions of people who know about Justin Roiland, I wouldn't be shocked if, like, a couple of them, like, went Googling him, and then they discovered, like, oh, this guy got charged with, like, pretty serious crimes, and then brought that up to a media source. Or it might have been a media source going through and searching that stuff up on him. That's the more likely answer to me. I don't think this was a situation of, like, an ex doing it. Moreover, though, Justin Roiland's rhetoric here, the canceled bit, I do not think that what happened with Justin Roiland was a cancellation, flat out. I do not think that, and I just want to check to make sure. Is this an accurate... My stream didn't drop, did it? Interesting. It's saying that I only have one viewer. Okay. No, it's back up to 4. But, like, I don't think that this was a cancellation. What happened was people found out about charges made against Roiland. These were not they were allegations, but they were allegations made by the state. He had been charged with something, not found guilty, but he was charged with something. And the thing is, 9 times out of 10, when someone is charged with a crime, even before, like, the term cancellation became a thing, being charged with something was kind of enough to get someone snuffed out of an industry. Like, let me think of a couple. Like, O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson was charged with murder, and he lost popularity really quickly. And he was never found guilty of that murder, mind you. He was never found guilty on that. But people still have a negative view of O.J. Simpson, and I wouldn't consider that to be a cancellation, because he was charged with something serious. And again, even though the charges, like, Justin Roiland, I'm not going to say he is guilty. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just pointing out this fact. The charges against Roiland were just dropped. He was not found innocent. The charges were just dropped, which can mean multiple things that I'm not going to go into here, because once again, I'm not saying that Justin Roiland is guilty of any of this. These are just allegations that I am reporting on. But I get why a lot of the companies that responded to this responded in the way that they did. Because having someone on your payroll who was charged with a crime by the state of California, and keep in mind, it takes a lot of money to investigate criminal offenses against someone. Like, that is money out of the state's pocket, out of prosecutors' pockets, to try to find evidence to these kinds of cases. So charges aren't levied very lightly. But these were charges brought up, and I can see exactly why companies like Adult Swim or even Squanch Games wanted to distance themselves from Justin Roiland. I can see exactly why that happened. Exactly why that happened. And again, I'm not stating my opinion on this, but for him to call this a cancellation, I disagree with that. These were people responding to charges brought up against him. And I don't necessarily blame them for jumping the gun on this. But flat out, Justin Roiland, his charges were dropped. Good for him. Good for him. I'm sure he's happy right now. He's saying that he's going to try to rebuild and restore his good name. I'm interested to see where that goes. And I guess, I'm not going to put my opinions here. Again, all of this is just allegations against him. But feel more than free to drop your opinion in the comment section down below. I will read it and I will respond to it. Also, make sure to like this video if you liked it, subscribe, hit that bell icon, and share it around. And I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.